Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to All Soccer All Day. I'm one of your hosts, Erik D, and I'm in Los Angeles, and that's Stevie Mac. He's in Chicago. What's up, Stevie Mac?
Not much. Just got done watching these World Cup finals today, and so very excited to go over that with everybody. What's going down?
Yes, sir. I agree. If you guys haven't done so already, go to our website, subscribe to the podcast. It's allsoccerallday.com. And if you can, we greatly appreciate you to support us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/allsoccerallday. It's all one word. Anything is appreciated, guys. I know Stevie Mac's got some exciting news.
Yeah, so in the previous couple shows, we've talked about doing this idea where we're going to help some underprivileged kids with soccer. And so we are starting this, and it's pretty exciting. So I just want to go over this with everyone. So basically, we're starting a fundraiser called Give Back with Soccer fundraiser. And the Give Back with Soccer fundraiser is designed to send a team of kids that are living in shelters, have social assistance, single parent families. They're definitely underprivileged, and there is no way that they would be able to do what we are trying to do. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to send them out to a tournament to play in California as well, which is going to include their airfare, lodging, all their meals, all that stuff, as well as buying them and sponsoring completely new kits for them, which they would never be able to do this. It would be impossible financially for them to ever be able to do something like this. And this would be a big way to just help someone, maybe change their perspective on something, improve someone's life, and do it using the beautiful game. And I think that's how we should be approaching it. And so basically, we have what we're trying to raise is, our goal is $10,000, which at first, when you first hear that, it's kind of like, whoa, it's kind of a big number. But the reality is, in order to send these kids, 16 kids out to California, they get all their lodging and all their food and all that stuff, as well as these new kits. So all their transportation and kits and designing kits and printing kits is not cheap. So we really need your help. And basically, we have our first promise sponsor, and it is so cool. Although I'm not actually going to talk about it yet until it actually comes through. It was promised, and I have no doubt that's going to come through. But this is a major historical Chicago staple restaurant here in Chicago that's helping us out. And so I'm really excited. I hope everything goes through, and as long as it does, I'll get into more detail on that next time. But anyways, again, our goal is $10,000. If you support us, then we're going to be sending these kids that are underprivileged to California to a tournament, and also be buying them all new kits. So go to that Patreon page, support us. That's what it's going for. Okay?
Yes, please, guys. We appreciate anything and everything. Good stuff, Stevie Mac.
Yeah, super excited. So something else that we're doing is, at the end of this show, because this is going to end up being like the World Cup wrap-up show for us, we are going to give away a World Cup replica soccer ball at the end of this podcast, which I think is pretty neat. It's going to be the Adidas ball with the orange and black kind of flare on it. You know what I'm talking about, Erik D?
Yes, sir. I want that one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Find out at the end of the podcast who wins that. All you have to do is be a subscriber to allsoccerallday.com. So as long as you are subscribing at our website, you have to go to allsoccerallday.com, subscribe there, then they send you an email, then you click yes, it's really me, and then you'll get our newsletter, and our newsletter just tells you when our newest episode is out, and directs you towards any events or any goings on that we have, including this fundraiser that we're doing, the Give Back with Soccer fundraiser. So check that out, definitely, allsoccerallday.com. And you can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, TuneIn, allsoccerallday.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all of the social media stuff, okay? Other than that, what we're going to be doing tonight is getting into the third place review, the finals review, and kind of going through a couple more exciting things. So, Eric D., are you ready to go?
I'm ready to get stuck in.
All right, let's do this.
All right, guys, so we're going to get into our World Cup wrap-up here, and we're going to start with the third-place game, which happened to be Belgium and England meeting for the second time in this tournament. What are your opening thoughts on that match there, Stevie Mac?
Well, opening thoughts in this, basically, we had discussed this before, saying that it's kind of like a Premier League All-Stars game in a way. I mean, not everyone, a sprinkle of Bundesliga and some other great leagues as well, but there's so many stars from the Premier League on this, and we were really hoping that these guys kind of let loose, play an exciting game, and, it started just that way. Just a few minutes in, Meunier ends up scoring a beautiful goal that's, actually, to be honest, quite easy. It was way too easy for Belgium to go down the field, get that cross, and then somehow he was the first person there. Like, there's no way that should have happened. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't remember the defender offhand that was right there. It seemed like
unfortunately, it's probably John Stones. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
It's my guess. Actually, no, you know what? It's Danny Rose. Danny Rose. That's right. Yeah, right. He didn't track Meunier coming back. That cost him the goal. That cost him the first goal.
Cost him dearly. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, in this match, I think if there was any fight in England, it kind of went right out the door after that first goal.
Yeah, I would agree. It seemed like there was an immediate dip in, total morale for sure. They went through the motions. Actually, Harry Kane had the chance a little bit later, and you were really, when I was watching that goal happen, or that miss happen, I thought it was a goal. Like, the guy has been just putting everything away in this tournament. It goes to say with the number of goals he's scored, and so it was just something that I really thought was going to happen, and he ends up kind of slipping a little bit, and there you go. He misses that, and then actually it was after that I felt that it was kind of just downward from there. Courtois came up with a huge save on Dyer just a few minutes later, or I'm sorry, it was cleared off the line. Courtois had come out, and ended up being cleared off the line. And so after that, then there ended up being... Do you remember the counterattack? Okay, I say that, but there was like 10 of them. But this one run of play that happens shortly thereafter, it's a little bit later in the game. It's about the 80th minute, where there's like two back heels in a row. The release pass is just amazing. De Bruyne finds his teammate across. There's a cross across the box, and then a volley from Meunier off the cross, and it's blocked and it doesn't go in. But just the beauty of the play. Pickford's
save. That's a strong hand right there.
Absolutely.
I know you admire your keepers there, Stevie Mac. No, Belgium was humming, it seemed like, all match. Like, they were the side that wanted to go out on top, wanted third place. Like, they were playing to win, and unfortunately England just was kind of there going through the motions. I think they felt like maybe we'd see how the game goes, and then Belgium was like, nah, we're just taking this.
Yeah.
And that counter was lethal all game.
Yeah, the second half of the game just looked like body shot after body shot from Belgium until they eventually just wore them down, and Eden Hazard finally gets in behind, and he slots it away. There's no stopping that, and so it ends up just being definitely just a disappointing showing from England yet again. And I don't really know exactly how to feel about their performance. We can kind of talk about that at some other time, but pretty disappointing. What are your thoughts on England's performance on Belgium? I mean, any last kind of things to say about this game?
Well, I mean, I think as an English supporter, you're going to go obviously one of two ways. You're going to look at it like, hey, this was a great tournament. The country fell in love with their national team once again, and look into the future, right? And then, of course, you're going to have the cynics that's going to be like, yeah, okay, that's kind of the real England, or that's what, we expected, or, look who we beat to get here. Like, they're going to look at it as kind of fool's gold, or, false hope, or however you'd like to look at it.
Yep.
So I think, the verdict is still very split on England's World Cup tournament in total.
Right.
As far as Belgium, I mean, I believe this is their best finish. It's their best finish ever in the
Definitely.
World Cup. They have nothing to be ashamed of. I think, if anything, you got to look at the final today, and they're probably looking at like, man, this should be us.
Yeah, I mean, they might.
Regret.
I really think that you're right in a lot of ways, but they ended up facing just the winners, and so we'll get into them in a little while. But Belgium's golden age, as they say, it was brilliant, and I hope that the development for them continues. It was a very strong showing, so exciting stuff from Belgium. But let's go ahead and let's move forward into the finals review. And
all right, guys.
Yep.
So the match that everybody obviously wants to talk about, maybe still talking about, the World Cup final played between France, who are in the showcase, I believe, for the third time, if memory serves me correct.
That's correct.
And Croatia was obviously a debutant and in there for the first time. What are your opening thoughts about that one, Stevie, Matt?
Well, I think that this was one of the more exciting World Cup finals that I remember, final games, and I was really pleased. We both ended up getting our predictions of this correct. Well, I mean, in your heart, you wanted France to win, I believe. You chose Croatia, but the reality is, I think you were just kind of, they were. And you know what? If you would have been right, you would have looked like a genius. But the safe,
like an idiot today.
Well, not really. The safe money was on France, and they came out and they produced with the power that we were all really kind of expecting to see from France the entire tournament. And with this victory, it absolutely solidifies some huge things for particular players. And we'll get into that here in a minute on more specific players that made a big impact on this game and in their career just in general. So what are some of your thoughts as far as the final review as well? I mean, what do you think about the game?
Well, I feel like I'm going to come across kind of as a soccer snob here. I know we kind of spoke about this a little earlier. The match was exciting in ways. There were a lot of goals.
Right.
As I told you earlier, a lot of goals in a match does not make a great game always. You can watch a 0-0 game and sometimes be more enthralled in the action than a game that's just has a lot of goals. It just all depends on the flow of the game. I don't want to get to the minutia of it, but there's times where you could break it down. Getting back to this match though, the first goal set up by a free kick that was won by Griezmann, where it looks like in the replays he dove. That's not something that VAR is looking at. And, Griezmann's not the first guy that's ever dove, and he won't be the last. And there's obviously a lot of people that do it, and it's gamemanship. I get it. And so that free kick goes, and then, unfortunately Croatia has the own goal that gets France on the board.
Right.
And I mean, to Croatia's credit, like they've done all tournament, They kept fighting. They fought back. They got the equalizer. But you did feel once France got that second goal that it might be slipping away from Croatia.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do, though, want to go back really quickly to that leveling goal that you were talking about, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we have to talk about that technique because people, for you folks that are just getting into soccer, maybe you just found us somehow because you're watching the World Cup, and then all of a sudden you just get sucked into the void that's social media, and then somehow you found us or something like that. I don't know if that's you. But if it is, when you go back to look at this goal that Ivan Perisic, I believe, is the one that scores this,
yes,
it is one of the most beautiful things you could possibly watch. The ball comes down, and at full speed, he knows exactly what he's doing. He sees Conte running towards him. He knows where Conte's weight is. He takes the first touch with his right foot, perfectly sets it up for his left foot, and takes it on the half volley coming up off the ground, and slots it across the keeper through two defenders into the bottom right-hand corner.
Thing of beauty.
I mean, there's nothing like it. And so that leveling goal was one of the most exciting things that's happened in a recent World Cup that I can remember because of the skill and because of what it meant. Because just like you said, yes, the wind out of the sails for sure after France scores their second goal. But when they first scored and leveled this game with the skill and technique like that, it like kind of sparked that little belief again, right? You were just kind of like, oh man, hold up, here comes Croatia, But yeah, I think you're right. Definitely after that second goal from France, wind kind of got a little bit sucked out. But keep going. Where were you? I just wanted to highlight that goal.
No, just getting back. Yeah, no, exactly. It deserves its moment, no doubt. Moving on to the penalty. The Croatian coach actually said he didn't think that should be a penalty called in a World Cup final. What are your thoughts on that?
You're talking about. I mean,
the handball.
The handball. Yeah. I mean, it was handball. I mean, that's what it was. So, what do you mean? Like, it shouldn't be called.
Like
why?
Sour grapes.
Yeah, like, why shouldn't it be called? It's like, if it was the other way around, you would have been totally fine with that call, and you would have been like, yep, handball. So, dude, take a break, bro. Like, it's all good. Like, you like, Croatia, you made your mark, man. Like, you cannot... Croatia should hold their head high, and
exactly.
They need to realize, Croatian fans, you are heartbroken and totally understandable, but also realize what this victory meant. And by victory, I mean getting to the final and performing through the knockout round the way they did. France just seemed like the better, more fresh, more, I don't know, just they had that energy, and they started feeling themselves, like like we often say. They started just getting in that groove, and France is too good to be stopped once they go like that,
Yeah, they had that cutting edge, and obviously the penalty puts them up 2-1 to go into the half. I agree with you that it's a handball. I've seen less given for a penalty.
Absolutely.
So it was a clear handball. You look at the replay. Granted, I think I've said this to you before, Stevie Mac. The refs, when they go to VAR, they don't look at these replays in slow motion like we do on the television broadcast. They watch it in real time.
That's true.
So, interesting thing, but yeah.
I think even in real time, it's a handball. Like.
Yeah, I mean, he got it right.
Yeah.
So, so they went in at the half. Interesting. Shortly after the second half started, N'Golo Kante came out, which was surprising to me. I know he was sitting on a yellow card at that time, but Kante had played like almost, I believe, every minute for France, and he came out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was.
Tactical switch.
Oh, really? Yeah, or maybe he was embarrassed because Ivan Perisic made him look like a fool. I mean, dude, I love Conte. Conte is a complete.
Conte's your boy.
Dude, he is. He's a complete beast in the midfield. And you know what? Here's the truth. Everybody gets owned at some point at this level.
It's true.
So it doesn't matter who you are.
You know what I say, and this has to do more with nutmegs, but I say get megged and meg. You know, you meg and you get megged, I should say.
Yeah.
It happens. You get schooled, you school. You know, it's just the way it is. You gotta brush that up and move on. It just happens, you know. So. But
at the same time, Perisic, you need your time in the light again for that goal because that was some dirty stuff, man. Dirty.
That was some dirty stuff.
So.
And I'm gonna let you take this next part because Pogba scored, and I want you to talk about what happened in that lead up there.
So. You know, we're going to talk about this goal again in a couple minutes, so I'm not going to get too crazy into it. But I'm just going to say this as far as this goal. This was a huge statement from Paul Pogba. It really solidified a lot of things for him. I think that everyone kind of already knows that. He's gotten a lot of hardship from a lot of people and all that over the years, but he's put his stamp on his career, and he is now a World Cup champion. You can't take it away from the dude. It's too late. And so this goal is huge, but the run of play is what we're going to talk about. I will talk about in a little while, so I don't want to spoil that, though. But amazing goal from Pogba. Amazing goal from Pogba, so huge.
Yeah, and so Kylian Mbappe adds another one just a few minutes later to make it 4-1 at that point, and then Mario kind of gets another goal for Croatia.
Yeah, that was Lloris trying to meg him, and he paid the meg price.
That was Lloris making the goalkeeper union look bad.
Dude, he went for the meg, and it was, and it would have. I mean, you know, hey, look, if you don't go for the glory, I guess you never get it, and it would have been an iconic thing to do, and everyone would have remembered that forever. But instead, they're just you messed up.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like when you're trying a move, when you pull it off, you look brilliant, and when you don't, you look like a fool.
Yeah.
Or an idiot, you know. And so it's
well, and especially when you're the keeper. Especially when you're the keeper, man.
Yeah, that's true. It's like even worse. So, yeah. So I mean, Croatia got another goal. Croatia fought, but they just came up against a France team that just overwhelmed them. I think in the end is my overall assessment about them. Croatia was a good story this World Cup. Man, I mean, who knows how many miles these guys ran? I've got to think it was close to 50 miles. You know, probably no exaggeration there. These guys are a testament to playing soccer the right way. They were a gritty team, and they powered through it, and they're fit. And man, I mean, Croatia, you got nothing to be ashamed of.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to still go down as one of the best midfields of all time in a World Cup. Like, it has to. Like, the way that all those guys in the midfield from Croatia performed throughout the tournament, you know, they always talk about how there's a lot of stuff in midfield that goes on that people don't know about. People don't realize the dirty work that these guys are doing to cut off passing lanes and all this other kind of stuff. But it's absolutely true. It's what actually keeps a lot of teams in games, is being able to stop the ball in midfield and then also being able to release your offense and find the correct pass in order to create opportunities for scoring. And so, you know, it goes without saying, I think, that these guys are absolute 100% professionals and at the top of their game. And it was an honor to watch Croatia perform throughout this tournament.
Yeah, no doubt. Luka Modric, before I forget, won the Golden Ball.
Yeah.
And it's well-deserved. I mean, hey, I applaud the guy because it's what they did, how they did it, it's not easy.
No. It's not easy, but you know what? Let's still end off this at least with giving credit where credit's due to France, the world champions, and quite frankly, like in a way, it's kind of like masterclass of how to accelerate through a tournament and peak at the perfect time and put it all together. And that's really what happened. And the talent there is unbelievable. So it is very exciting to see France get this.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel this way, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this. I still feel like France never broke a sweat in this tournament,
which is why why it's so dirty. That's partly why these dudes are so nasty. You're kind of right. If you look back at their whole tournament, they were kind of just chilling. And by chilling, I mean destroying the whole tournament in the end. I mean, they turned it on when they had to. They chose their times when they had to. And you're right. It almost seemed like they were just like, oh, whatever. Here we are. And then there you go. They get the win. So,
gosh, I can't even, like, I mean, Belgium feels like the only match that was really squeaky bum time for them. That was a close 1-0 encounter.
Yeah.
You know, one bounce this way, one bounce that way. That could have been totally different.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I mean, I can't even think, like, who did they play after Uruguay before Belgium? I can't even remember at this point who they played, and that's
it was Uruguay and then Belgium. First they played Argentina. They were in the round of 16 with Argentina, and
then they played.
Then they played Uruguay. I know, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they just the way they obviously they took care of business against Argentina. That was a shootout, but that was more
okay.
Like,
so
I think France was like playing.
Well, those numbers are deceiving. It ended up being 4-3, but remember, like there was a garbage time goal. Like the reality is that Argentina had a lead at the beginning of this game, and then after that, it just all fell apart from them. And then when you really think about the game, you're kind of like, yeah, France kind of, I don't know. It didn't really seem like that big of a deal to them. And then with Uruguay, I mean, 2-0. Like, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you look back at it, my point is I don't think France was ever tested in this tournament. The only exception would be against Belgium. France felt more like a final in what we think of than maybe this one. And that's no disrespect to Croatia. I'm just saying that more times than not, you see finals that are a lot tighter. And this one, it's great in the sense there were a lot of goals. Some people feel like it was a great game. I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just like I love the games where it's like they're tied or there's a goal between them. Like it's a lot closer and it's going back and forth. And there's something like you still like today when you're watching the match. There's a point where it's like, okay, it's 4-2. There's maybe 20 minutes left. Is Croatia really going to get back in this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're already starting to write them off.
Yeah. So you're talking. Like, you're talking about the drama in the game, and I mean, I can say, let's all be honest about this. Most people felt that whoever won the France-Belgium game was going to win the World Cup. Most people. People had hopes for Croatia. People had hopes for England. But the reality is, I think the majority of soccer fans and people that are just watching that are kind of casual fans see France and Belgium and kind of what they did. And you're thinking like, yeah, they're the stronger two teams. Whoever wins that is essentially probably going to win the cup. And sure enough, there you go. So in a way, it kind of did feel like a final. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, what would this game what would it have been like? Excuse me, guys. Get my words out here. If England had gotten somehow past Croatia and England and France had played, I mean this is no disrespect, England, but would they have just gotten absolutely murdered? Like, would they?
It would appear so. I mean, by all accounts, especially because then they go out and lose to Belgium 2-0, and I understand it's a third-place game. It doesn't really mean anything and all that stuff. But, man, like, yeah, it seems like France would have just absolutely murked England. Like,
yeah, and that's the point we're getting back to, is that France was dirty, was filthy in this tournament, because they just looked like they kind of swept aside everyone they played, and they were just like laissez-faire, blasé. All right, we're out here, we're gonna play. Yeah, boom, you score a goal, I score a goal. Oh yeah, good, we won.
yeah, man.
Like they were just so cool about
look,
it.
Look, look. Yeah, at pickup, at the pickup games I play, there's one of my buddies. He's a French dude. His name's Raymond. We were talking about France's performance throughout this tournament the last time we were playing, and it was funny because this was when Brazil was still in the cup. So I was still rooting for Brazil. Remember, that was my kind of pick from the beginning, and they fell off and all that, but that's okay. But I remember talking to him about it and being like, man, I don't know. What about Brazil? What about Brazil? And he actually just went, just watch France and learn. And I was like, I was like, that's cold, man. So, dude, but look, shout out, man, because, yeah, watch France and learn how to win a World Cup, people. Watch France and learn, like, what skill level it takes to make the entire rest of the tournament, when you look back on it, kind of look like, wait, I guess you had this from the beginning, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nasty stuff, because that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like France is lifting their second trophy in the history for the country, and it's the second time in 20 years. There's only a few, I believe there's only Germany and Brazil maybe, that have been in this many World Cup finals in the last 20 years or so, or that kind of time span. So France is kind of an elite company in that regard. And yeah, man, they just kind of did it like just with the stunner shades on, just like, yeah.
No, it was good stuff.
Man.
Good stuff. So big ups there. A lot of fun. Yeah, I will say that maybe if we would have looked back on it, I mean, if Croatia would have won, it would have been a totally different story. It would have been like the ultimate underdog comeback, 3 knockout games in a row, going to extra time, 2 of them being penalty kicks. It would have been unreal. But the reality is that's not what happened. France won. And now when you look at the tournament, you're just like, yep, okay, I see that. So exciting. Big ups. Anything else you want to put on to that the final game?
Let's give a shout out to the ladies that were holding the medals there at the ceremony. Cause I don't know if you guys watched, but man, there was a downpour, and they were out there, and they were doing their job. Like,
dude, I sent you that text message in the middle of it. I was like, dude, how about these ladies in the background in the red pantsuits just getting dumped on and just standing there and just smiling through it? Like, it was so funny, man. And you know what? There was a absolutely. And there was like a close up of, I think, Deschamps there at the end, and you could see some of the ladies in the background, and you could see their faces, and they were like smiling the whole time. Like, I'm good with this. I'm fine. It was hilarious, man. Pros, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, congratulations to France. I'll definitely be wearing my French jersey, during the week here when I go out to play and stuff. And, props to Croatia.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of heart.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, very cool, very cool. All right, let's move into a couple things that we wanted to just go over before we finish this World Cup wrap-up. We wanted to kind of go through a fun section where we're going to do kind of like best of, and we'll pick a couple basic things, and then we'll just speak on it just a little bit. And, of course, folks, if you're listening, please, send us a message. Check us out online at allsoccerallday.com. There's a little contact us form. Send us a message about what you think. I mean, we want to start interacting with the fans and everything, so please do that. But we're going to go over some best of. We're going to start with the best game in the tournament. The best game overall. What do you think, Eric D?
I said it early, and I'm going to say it again. The best game for me was Spain versus Portugal there early in the group stages. It had it all. It went back and forth. It ended in a draw. And I mean, what can you say? I mean, it had some great goals. I feel like that game, that's what I'm talking about. When I was talking about the final earlier and everything,
Right.
the soccer game I want to watch on repeat is Spain versus Portugal.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, the drama's there all the way through. It's a draw, but hopefully for soccer fans that are just kind of getting into it, like new soccer fans, you see a draw like that, and then you're like, oh, draws are okay. Because I hear that complaint a lot when it comes to novice fans of soccer that are just getting into it. They're like, oh, I hate that everyone ties all the time. But like when you watch a game like that, it's like, wow, that tie was unbelievable. So
yeah, exactly. And that was my favorite game, and it was a draw.
Right.
Nobody won.
Right.
But it was a great game.
So
it was everything that the World Cup and everything you want about soccer was in that game. Like, it just had it all.
I mean, I love that it was so early in the tournament, too. I mean, it really set a tone for the rest of the tournament. And when we get into kind of our overall opinions of the tournament, I think we'll speak on that a little bit later. But so Spain versus Portugal, I'm totally in agreement with you. I think it was the best game of the tournament. So let's move forward. Okay, so moving on. The next thing that we're going to choose is the best goal of the tournament. So the goal that to you was just, you would want to watch this one on repeat. Tell me about that one for you, Erik D.
Well, for me, it had to be Toni Kroos for Germany against Sweden there in the group stage. It was a free kick. The angle was near impossible. I mean, people don't, you always do a deep dive in the technical aspect, and you're talking about how people don't understand the degree of difficulty. That free kick is not easy, what Toni Kroos did, and it was so crucial that he scored that. It's in the dying embers of the match. Germany's their tournament's on life support. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that. The magnitude of the goal and the goal itself, just everything in that ball, that package, man.
Yeah. I think I identify with what you're saying about that, definitely because of the magnitude of the goal and the fact that it felt that Germany's tournament life was hanging in the balance for sure. Like if they didn't make that, you knew it was over for them. And so the pressure had to be immense. It was amazing. For me, I think just based on the pure technical standpoint, and the timing was important. I would say that if we were saying most crucial goal, I think Toni Kroos is way up there. Ronaldo, we'll get into that in a little bit too. Ronaldo's free kick at the ending of the Spain-Portugal game also. But for me, it's Benjamin Pavard. And that volley, I mean...
Whew. Sweet strike.
It's just a cannon. The technique on it is just unreal.
You can't hit a ball sweeter.
No. The technique level of that is so high that if you had never played soccer before, you would watch that and it would be so good that you wouldn't even be able to realize how good it is. It's just too good.
Yeah, exactly. And what's crazy to me is it came from a guy I honestly had never heard of before this tournament. That's what tripped me out the most. I'm like, who is this guy? He's playing right back?
Yeah.
For
France? I mean, and he is a great player in his own right, but yes, coming from him, you're not expecting the goal of the tournament. That is true.
He plays in the Bundesliga, I think, I forgot what club it was. He plays as a center back for his club team.
Dude, I know. Well, okay, look, this goes to show a lot of the overall talent that was on France. I mean, if your right back is scoring that,
ridiculous.
What the hell, man? So, anyway, go back and watch that goal.
They should have gave the trophy to France right after that goal.
Just drop it.
Okay, stop the tournament. It's over. Everybody go.
It was really an amazing goal. So Benjamin Pavard, that's going to be my best goal of the tournament. Okay, so next one, best save of the tournament. What do you got?
For me, it's Courtois. Belgium against Brazil. That late one to prefer to save or to keep the victory. Like that was to preserve it. I mean, stellar save. I mean, he's at full stretch going to his left. It looked like it was heading for the upper 90 there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Courtois is a big man, and he was able to get a paw to it. And I mean, it's crucial because at that point, Brazil, I should say, just needed that one more goal to equalize, and they were really pushing for it. It was desperate times at the time. They were putting on a lot of pressure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge save.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I think the weight of that and moving them forward and really kind of putting the stamp on that game, I think it was great. I'm going to cheat a little bit on this one. I know it's supposed to be best save, but I'm going to go with Kasper Schmeichel in the round of 16, where they lost, and he was still the man of the match. And just his overall game was unreal. And it was an honor to watch this guy play through. I mean, you're a keeper. You at least played keeper at some point, keeper defender. So tell me a little bit about, his overall performance. I mean, why was it so great?
No, I'm right there with you. No, I'm exactly with you there on that one. I think if it's not for Schmeichel, Denmark's not in that match. It doesn't go to penalty kicks.
Oh, no way. And then you saved 3, by the way, throughout the course of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
what?
He had some huge saves. He was crucial to Denmark's hopes. I mean, he did everything minus standing on top of his head. Like, you couldn't ask for more from your keeper.
Right.
That's the thing, The keeper can only do so much, and he did everything.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate that the rest of his team couldn't come through for him, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving on. Now, this one's pretty exciting for me. I always love the setup. I always love the beautiful pass. I always love the run of play where just the vision that these players see before they get the ball. It's that chess match. You're like 3-4 game moves ahead, and that comes down to the most crucial pass in the entire tournament. And you and I had talked about this before, and we kind of concurred on this. For us, it's Paul Pogba in the final, leading up to his goal. He had the vision to put this ball across the field to Mbappe, and the run of play happens. He ends up shooting with his right leg. It's blocked. It comes back to him. He takes his time, puts it on his left leg, slots it right in, just to the right of the keeper. And I don't know. It's the fact that he saw that, he, like I said before, he had that vision. So he hits that pass, and then he's also following the play. So it was kind of like an all-together play that just the pass was so big. It really solidified a lot of things for him as a player, too, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think as a player on the field, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, the only thing maybe better would be like, you make a crucial tackle, and then you have the crucial pass, and then you get the crucial goal all in the same sequence.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't think you're giving that pass enough credit. I mean, he hits that on half volley.
Yeah.
On the volley, and it's diagonal across the field. I mean, we talked about the goals. Go out and try to hit that exact pass.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like I was saying before, people won't even see that pass. That's the problem. It's like, that pass isn't even available for some people to even ever know existed. So, if just definitely the technical skill of doing it was amazing, but also, again, just the experience of knowing where the outlet passes are and all that kind of stuff is really amazing. So it was awesome to watch. Okay, going into the next one, we kind of touched on this a little bit, so we'll kind of blaze through this one. But the best set piece in all of the entire tournament, what was that for you?
Once again, it was Tony Cruz.
Yep.
Versus Sweden.
Well, it was the best goal in the game for you, so it's got to be the best set piece. I concur with you on that. Actually, there were so many great set pieces in this, and I mean, you can argue so many of them, but again, going back to the gravity of that kick, both you and I feel that it's the best set piece in the game. With the honorable mention to Ronaldo, we have to throw him in there because I mean, that was kind of like, we discussed this in the group round, but it's like a different kind of pressure on Ronaldo because he's trying to prove that he was the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Yeah. And so it's just like a different pressure, but still an amazing strike. The technique on both of those are unreal. Anything else you want to add on the set pieces?
No, I was just saying, like what I said in that episode, is that Cristiano Ronaldo's was to tie the game, and they ended up getting a point or splitting the points with Spain, where Tony Cruz, I mean, Germany had to have that goal.
Yeah. He saved
so
their
the crucial
tournament.
level is
Right.
just, yeah, exactly.
The cruciality of it all.
The cruciality level is just so much more higher.
Jesus. Okay. All right. So let's go with the biggest surprise of the tournament. Okay. Go ahead. Biggest surprise.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt. I mean, we're in agreement with this one. It's Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, Russia was the lowest ranked team at the tournament, and to go as far as they did in the tournament to the quarterfinals and to beat Spain in the process.
Ooh.
Like, I mean, if you're Russia, you couldn't have dreamt that, right?
No.
You couldn't have dreamt for a better tournament. I mean, obviously, maybe there's people in Russia dreaming of them hoisting the tournament trophy, I should say.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure most people picked Russia to not even get out of the group.
Yeah, yeah. So. But look, this goes back to that home field advantage, man. Every time, look, 4 years from now, if ever you remember that, and for some, we think about this game, we're going to think right away, well, I mean, Russia did it, so...
I don't think Qatar's doing it. All right.
I mean, what would be tight is like to put a couple bucks on Qatar right now. Anyway, okay. Oh my God. So, Russia, biggest surprise for sure. All right, now honorable mention. We gotta put this out there. Honorable mention. We have to throw this out there. Sweden. Okay. So, props to Sweden. You went way deeper than anyone thought you would, to be honest. Let's be honest. And you got out of that group and topped the group that no one thought you were going to even come out of. So, big ups on that. What are your thoughts on Sweden's performance, Erik D?
Yeah, Sweden, just like Russia, that was a surprise. Obviously, Russia was greater surprise because of their ranking. Sweden, and like I had said before, they channeling their inner Greece, and it was only able to take them so far. But I mean, once again, Sweden left the tournament not with their heads held high, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we only have a few more of these. Getting into the biggest disappointment. I think that one's kind of a no-brainer also. I mean, it's got to be Germany, obviously, right?
Yeah. I mean, it followed that trend of previous World Cup winners going out of the group stage. But Germany just, man, did they look bad?
It was poor. It was very poor.
It was the most un-German I've ever seen a German team. But I guess I saw the most un-Brazil I've ever seen a Brazilian team in 2014. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, does that mean? I don't know. France has already had some horrible World Cups, so I don't know. Maybe it'd just be another World Cup for them. But man,
yeah,
I gotta think Germany right now. There's a lot of embarrassment going home when they did, and they're gonna want to kick some butt next time around.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, it was a very poor performance, and definitely everyone that I've talked to and everyone that is a soccer fan that's thinking about this correctly, you can't go really another way. Germany has to be the biggest disappointment. However, we have our honorable mention as well to Spain. Because again, Spain, what happened? What? I mean...
You know what I would say for Spain? And obviously, we're not managing at the highest level.
Yeah, no.
And we're not in those rooms. We're not out there.
Yeah.
But what I would say to Spain next tournament, maybe cut down on the amount of passes. Pass to someone that's going to shoot the ball at goal.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
I'm being,
it's Spain brings a lot of qualities to the game.
Yep.
There is the tiki-taka has a place in the game. There's something to be said about it, but you can't help but feel left feeling with Spain against Russia that they just didn't assert themselves enough.
Yeah, no way.
Didn't have that cutting edge.
Well, clearly
and
they
just
lost.
Let Russia hang around.
I mean, huge disappointment.
It didn't have to be that way. I felt like it feels. I mean, no disrespect to Russia, but as we're looking back on it once again, it feels like Spain more lost that or gave it away than necessarily Russia taking it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay.
But yeah.
Let's kind of wrap up this episode. This is our World Cup wrap up. We're going to give just a couple seconds of your overall opinion of the tournament. Just give us your final 30 seconds of, hey, what do you think about this tournament overall? How does it stand?
Well, some would say that it was one of the best World Cups, or if not the best World Cup ever. I don't know if I'm willing or ready to crown it as that. There's just a lot of history in this tournament, so it's hard to say. But it definitely delivered in a lot of areas. There wasn't the issues, at least something we heard of, with Russia hosting. A lot of goals. I think I saw a stat that there was only one goalless draw in this tournament. Unfortunately, France was involved in it with Denmark, I believe.
Yep.
This was the first tournament with VAR. I feel like VAR, for the most part, was successful. And whether you guys hate it or love it, I believe it's here to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the age we live in. Get used to it. I mean, technology is only going to get more involved because it did impact games, but the way I think FIFA executed it very well.
Yeah, I would agree.
High marks for it. So there was also that, and I mean, unfortunately, towards the end of the tournament, it became a European Championship. That's what's unfortunate about it. One of the things, the reservations I have about crowning it the greatest ever. I think when you have a final with two nations in the same confederation, I don't know if it's the best ever.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of my personal opinion on that. I feel like you need to have that. Different confederations and different, games late in the tournament.
Yeah.
And, there's so many thoughts I have about this tournament, and there's not enough time to talk about it. But what I want to say is, because I think we'd be remiss about not talking about it, Belgium's counter masterclass against Japan, that last goal, it is, you don't see things, you can watch many soccer games, you do not see stuff like that happen very often. Exciting stuff. It was thrilling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my overall opinion of this tournament was it was absolutely one of the most entertaining months of soccer that you are ever going to witness and ever going to remember. So really amazing stuff. Looking forward to the future. Next week we're going to start going over our world transfer kind of news, our MLS review. So it's going to be a really exciting thing moving forward. And look, our winner for the 2018 World Cup replica soccer ball is Anthony Wong. So Anthony Wong, woo! Congratulations. Okay, yes. We are going to get you that ball mailed straight to you. So congratulations. You are a winner. Thank you guys very much for listening to this show. Erik, do you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, guys, hey, we're going to try to do this as a weekly show. Next week, next Sunday, we hope to have another episode out. We hope that you've enjoyed, and like always, don't hate.
Don't hate.